Hey, welcome back to That'll Do Garage. Thanks for joining us today. A couple of random adventures and projects in the works, but the first one we're going to do is head up here and look at a WRX engine. The correct engine?
Yep, EJ257.
Yeah, a bunch of letters and numbers in there. And after we get done with that, we're going to head over to somebody else's house to pick up your new acquisition, which is
a 1949 Plymouth Special Deluxe.
Special Deluxe, yeah, perfect.
I found out what it was last week. I just said yes and then found out what it was.
So this is a bunch of letters and numbers?
Yep. It's a factory Subaru WRX STI engine.
To go in that WRX STI that we walked past. And that one is the wrong engine.
Yep.
This one is better for some reason.
This is the engine that came in the car, or should have come in the car. And it's rated for 305 horsepower, and the car that's in the engine that's in the car is a 2-liter instead of a 2.5 liter. That's supposed to make 276, but probably isn't tuned, is more likely making like 240, 200.
Oh, okay.
So it is way down on horsepower.
So you picked this up to swap it in because you need to put a clutch in it anyway, right?
Yep, putting a clutch in, might as well put an engine in it anyway.
Since you're here,
right?
Replace the engine. Well, here we are, 1949 Plymouth Special Deluxe, Super Deluxe, something like that. Pretty sweet, right? It's up on dollies. So much character, I love it. We're gonna roll it out here pretty soon. And tow truck is on the way. Wow, look at that dash. That's fantastic. Good going in your new Plymouth. Wow, that's so cool. Doesn't get much cooler than that. Oh. Well, after much weeping and gnashing of teeth, we got it out. It's kept falling off of the dollies. This wheel and the driver's rear won't roll properly, so we're gonna have to dig into that first. But got a tow truck on the way. It's supposed to be here soon. We were just scoping out this powerhouse. Let's see if I can show you. Supposedly it's I think he said 231 cubic inch straight cylinder, or straight six cylinder. It's been converted to 12 volts. It was a 6-volt system. Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff under here we're gonna have to learn about. Let's take a look at this interior. Real wood. Got some records here. Not really legible. Looks like it's in very good shape though. I'm not sure what the nautical theme is all about. Good going in your new Plymouth. Stupendous. Oh, what a beaut. Look at that. So much character. Just got dropped off by the tow truck. We're gonna dig in. First mission is try to get it running. The previous owner said he started it every year and just let it run. Hasn't moved for 12 years, but he let it idle every summer. And so the last time it ran was about a year ago. Should be not too bad to get it started then. All right, so tell me again, what's the displacement? 231?
218.
218, straight 6. And we noticed the spark plugs are super offset. The piston is actually like over here, which is very weird. Yes. So we got a 6 to 12 volt conversion. Distributor. No idea what that is. I assume vacuum reservoir, but I'm not sure. And we got an oil bath air filter, which is the giant black box. Probably a single barrel carb underneath that. Standard issue alternator. Lots of stuff we don't recognize. Vacuum line running from the intake up to the dash because the windshield wipers are vacuum operated. What else? Well, we could probably start by taking the giant oil bath air filter off and see what's underneath there. That's our first goal, just to get it running. I wonder how old the gas in the tank is.
It could be old. It could be. It's probably pretty old. If it hasn't been driven,
old, yeah.
It hasn't been driven in 12 years. It's probably pretty old.
Okay, so oil bath. The principle is that you have a puddle of oil that the air flows by or past or through, and it catches the crap in the air. So that thing is going to have a bunch of like fuzz, yeah, fuzzy stuff. But the whole thing should come off. Might be what this is for here. Hold up. Okay, now lift it up. Yeah.
So I didn't need to take that off.
Now it looks like a carburetor. Yeah, we got a single barrel carb, cable operated choke. You can see the throttle plate way down there.
The choke is not factory. That was
added,
as you can tell.
By the zip ties, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm not the first one. I'm not the first one to zip tie anything.
You're not the only one to zip tie his way out of every problem. Looks like we only really have one adjuster screw down here, which is probably for our idle mixture screw. We have a throttle adjustment screw. This is our throttle, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So that's mechanical. Got a pivot point over there on the valve cover, which is pretty sweet. That looks fine.
Yeah, that's nice and free.
Looking down the carb here. No accelerator pump. Some carbs have a accelerator pump. When you hit the pedal, it actually pumps a little bit of fuel. I don't see that happening. So let's think about fuel for a sec. This is going to be a mechanical fuel pump, obviously.
Yep.
We're guessing the fuel is a decade old.
Yep.
So we could, number one, open this up and let some fuel come out and make sure we're pumping fuel, just to know where we're at. But if it doesn't start, I would suspect that our decade-old fuel is a problem. Or we can put fuel in here, which is good because we could use new fuel, but is bad because we don't know if we're giving it too much or too little. And also, this is not really safe because it can like backfire and kill us.
Is there an electric fuel pump in one of these?
I don't think so.
So it's going to pull it all through the mechanical.
This is going to have a mechanical pump. That's
Yep.
gonna, as soon as we start cranking, it's going to start cranking fuel.
Yeah.
So we're going to want to disconnect our fuel line and have that run to some bucket so that it doesn't pump in a bunch of old fuel.
Okay.
We have our battery charger going. We have a spray bottle of fresh, clean fuel, and we're going to check the oil. And that's it. I'm not lying. This clown just showed up with a 14mm wrench and thought he was going to loosen the fuel line on a 1949 Plymouth. I will go home, dude. Dude, that's 13. What are you doing?
13. That's a 14.
No! Freedom units! This looks like we know what we're doing. He's got an empty windshield washer jug down there. About 3 feet of what looks like might even be fuel line on the fuel supply.
Yep.
So that we get our crappy fuel in the jug and not spraying all over the engine. We're even gonna put a hose clamp on it?
We're fancy.
This is overkill. Anyway, we got our battery charging, we checked the oil. We're gonna do this so it doesn't pump decade-old fuel everywhere. And we got a spray bottle full of nice clean gas. So, what could go wrong? So I just checked the coolant and it is very empty, which is fine, because we're just gonna run it for a minute or two. And you can't really do that very long with newer vehicles because the water pump, the coolant actually like lubricates the bearings, but this water pump has a grease zerk. I'm not kidding. How many water pumps have you seen that have an actual grease zerk on them? I think that's stupendous. We also have no idea how a 3 on the tree works, so we have no idea if it's a neutral. So he's gonna hold the clutch.
I'm gonna hope that's neutral and I don't run anybody over.
I'm gonna stand over here just in case, but move our gas. So, okay, see if you can hit it. Okay, hold on, let me watch. One more time, yeah. Think we're ready for some gasoline?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Why not? No time like the present. All right, bro. Nice. Okay. Logan, must be. You want to try to find neutral?
Fuel tank is pretty much empty.
Well, okay.
The gauge is wrong.
So we have the fuel line disconnected, which means it's running off of what I sprayed in there right now.
Car's been on over 5 miles an hour.
Okay. Good, just let it. Oh, I was gonna say, let it die. That was good. That was really easier than expected. So we still don't know if you have neutral, right?
Pretty sure I'm in neutral.
Did you let the clutch out while it was running?
No.
All right, let's start it again and let the clutch out with your foot on the brake. Or just see if that starts to, you know, bog the engine down. Put your foot on the brake that we assume don't work.
There was more resistance on the clutch than there was on the brake.
Maybe I'll put a big block of wood under one of the tires. Jeez.
I got real shock blocks.
No way.
Right behind you.
I don't even know what to do with actual right tools for the job here.
This is so foreign. Such a foreign concept.
Okay, so good.
Why are we cocking the wheel that won't move anyway?
I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that. We also have 2 frozen wheels. Okay, I'll give it a little bit more gasolines.
Alright.
Go ahead and crank it when you're ready. Okay, good. He said it's in neutral. How long do you want me to keep it running? You want to come look and see if we're getting fuel in the jug?
Oh yeah, we're about half full.
Okay, let's just let it die then.
I'd say it's pretty dark though.
Is it nasty? So that's probably a good way. Well, we're gonna want to drain that out, you know.
Yeah. Although the fuel tank says we're empty, so
Okay.
we might be.
Oh,
close
maybe
to
there's
the
not that much then. Good. So potentially, if you just put 10 gallons of new fresh fuel in, and then 1 gallon of crappy fuel, you know, it'll be okay. Yeah. We're talking about this jug down here. See how brown it is? That's pretty nasty already. So good. That was really easy. What the heck, dude? Should get a lottery ticket or something. Just filling that jug up with the crappy old fuel. Gotta keep the engine running to keep it pumping. Oh, you're doing great, Pete.
Yeah.
You don't even need a carburetor. This guy's a fuel metering master. Oh, we hooked the fuel line back up. Just let it idle for a few minutes. It is on that bad gas, but the fuel tank shows empty, so we're guessing there's not very much in there anyway. But it doesn't have much coolant in it either, so we don't want to run it too long. But the thing runs really good. Started right up, no choke, no drama, no fuss. Running on decade-old fuel. And we even figured out where neutral is. So everything's just going swimmingly. I think we're going to transition to trying to figure out one of these wheels. Maybe this one doesn't move it at all.
Let's start there.
Yeah. This one's okay. Both directions, actually. That's a bonus. This one goes forward
but not reverse.
Not backward.
And that one spun pretty nicely too.
This one's okay. So what's that, like 60%? Anyway.
It's 5/8.
Yeah. All right, working on the right front wheel here. Is that damaged right there? That could be seeping brake fluid. See how it's so dark?
Yeah, that's fine.
This looks like it's been hitting the tire.
Or something. Something rubbed that clean.
So,
although the tire is so flat.
We should look at the inside of the tire and see if it's got a wear mark right there. We just took the wheel off and we want to get this brake to free up. So I just wanted to see if the drum is able to come off without taking the bearings off. Sometimes with older stuff like this, you actually have to take the bearing and hub apart to get the drum off. So we'll see what happens. It does look like there's a seam though, like right there. It's something a hammer can help with, right? If only we had a hammer. Well, looky here.
All right.
No progress. What a shock. So we did some convincing here with the hammer and it didn't get us anywhere except for some brake dust came out. So we looked up on Peyton's newfangled smartphone and this piece and this piece is one unit. The drum and the hub comes together. So now we're going to take this cap off and see what we got under there for wheel bearings and grease and all that jazz. Now, before you try to loosen that, try to tighten it and make sure it's tight, because if you try to loosen it, you're not going to realize if it was just a little bit loose or if it was like a lot loose.
It is a little loose. Just saw it coming off.
Oh really? The nut moved already?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, geez, yeah, that's bad. So that was really pretty bad. Like there's a lot of slop there, there's no tension on the bearing.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and back it off now. Makes for a riveting video, huh?
Yeah.
How's the bearing look? Does it have any bluing or any damage? The rollers look smooth. Does it
looks
feel
nice.
okay? Does it have play in it? Seems okay?
Bearing seems okay.
Okay, good. Doesn't look like it's been overheated.
No, no flat spots on rollers.
Okay, good. Alright, so now the only thing keeping us on there is friction between the drum and the shoe and the inner bearing race, I guess. The inner race on the inner bearing. So let's give it a little bit more love taps with the hammer and see if she frees up now.
Sweet.
Actively dripping brake fluid out of that wheel cylinder.
Yeah.
So after much convincing, I did get her off. Seems like it's got a lot of movement though.
That outer race does, but I don't think, I mean, that's as far as the outer race goes.
Yeah.
I think that one might be okay too.
But they're probably cheap,
It's
so since
stuck.
we're here,
Oh, it's not stuck. Come
I
on.
might as well.
Yeah, that goes in there.
And
And a
rub
seal.
seal. Lovely. How's the drum? Not looking so great.
No,
either.
that's probably where it seized, was the drum, just the
Yeah,
drum
it's really
to
rusty.
yeah, just the drum to the shoot.
Shoes, yeah. I would think so. I mean, if this was me on my checkbook, I'd order new shoes, new wheel cylinders, new wheel bearings, new hub seals, and I guess new drums if you can. I don't,
Maybe find somewhere that could turn them. But
yeah. So we just found out a new drum is $256 a piece, so he's gonna put some time into turning them at the shop. Okay, so he doesn't believe me right now.
I believe you now.
This side is reverse thread, the lug nuts, because the driver's side is reverse thread. Well, we started working towards taking the rear brakes apart, and we don't have a nut big enough for that. And also, apparently you need a puller, because this is a press fit between the axle shaft and the hub, or the drum there. So we're gonna call it a night, but anyway, it's been fun. This thing started right up. Just now, we just started it again with the decade-old fuel. The bad news is the cost of brake parts is astronomical. Rear drums are
$450 a piece.
so rear drums are $900 for both, and the front drums were $250.
$250 a piece. Yeah.
$250 each. So what is that? $1,400 for drums for this.
Yeah, it's a lot more than the sandpaper I'm gonna buy to resurface these.
Yeah, probably do a refinish instead. But anyway, it's been a good start. So we're gonna call it a night here. Thanks for watching.